Hollywood, 1968. A movie studio backlot. Steve McQueen, the biggest action star in the world, stands in a doorway watching. In front of him, his personal bodyguard, 6'6", 350 pounds, former college linebacker, a man paid to intimidate. And across from the bodyguard, Bruce Lee, 5'7", 135 pounds, looking like he wandered onto the wrong set. The bodyguard just shoved Bruce hard, called him a little karate clown in front of a dozen crew members. Steve didn't stop him. He wanted to see what would happen. What happened next lasted 7 seconds. 7 seconds that ended with 350 pounds of muscle flat on the concrete, unconscious. Paramedics called, and Steve McQueen asking Bruce a question that would change both their lives. Can you teach me to do that?
Steve McQueen didn't trust easy. By 1968, he was Hollywood royalty, The Great Escape, Bullet, the king of cool, box office gold. Every studio wanted him. Every man wanted to be him. But fame came with problems. Stalkers, obsessed fans, people who wanted to hurt him just to be famous themselves. So Steve hired protection, not regular security. He hired Rick Baxter, a 350-pound former linebacker who'd played college football before a knee injury ended his career. Rick was intimidating, massive, the kind of guy who cleared rooms just by walking in. Steve trusted him completely, paid him $2,000 a week, serious money in 1968, to stay close, to handle problems before they became problems. Steve had met Bruce Lee 6 months earlier at a party. Someone mentioned Bruce taught martial arts. Steve was curious. Action star, right? Always looking for authenticity in fight scenes. He asked Bruce for a demonstration. Bruce showed him the 1-inch punch, put his fist against Steve's chest, barely touching, and released. Steve flew backward 3 feet, landed on his ass, stunned. What the hell was that? Physics, Bruce said calmly. Body mechanics, transferred force. Steve was hooked. Started training privately with Bruce twice a week, early mornings, before shooting, just the two of them in Steve's home gym. But Steve never told Rick about the training, never mentioned that this 135-pound Chinese guy was teaching him to fight. Rick knew Bruce existed, saw him around occasionally, but dismissed him completely. Another Hollywood hanger-on, another martial arts charlatan selling mysticism to gullible celebrities. Rick didn't respect martial arts. He respected size, strength, college football toughness, real man stuff. And Bruce Lee looked like a dancer, moved like one too. All that flashy hand stuff, all that philosophy. Rick thought it was bullshit. Steve never corrected him, actually found it amusing, let Rick believe whatever he wanted. It was a Tuesday, late afternoon. Steve was wrapping a scene for the Reavers on the Paramount backlot. Bruce had stopped by, not to train, just visiting. He did that sometimes. Hung out, watched filming. Steve liked having him around. During a break, Steve and Bruce were talking near the craft services table. Just casual conversation, movies, training, life. Rick was nearby, doing his job, watching, making sure nobody got too close to Steve. A crew member, sound guy, walked past carrying equipment, bumped into Rick's shoulder, not hard, accidental. The sound guy apologized, terrified. Rick let him go. The guy scurried away. Bruce watched this happen, didn't say anything, just watched. Steve noticed Bruce watching. That's Rick, my bodyguard. Good guy, just intense. Bruce nodded. He relies on intimidation, size, fear. It works, Steve said. Until it doesn't, Bruce replied. Rick heard that, turned around, looked at Bruce. You got something to say? Bruce kept his tone neutral. Just an observation. Intimidation works against people who can be intimidated. Rick took 2 steps toward Bruce, closing distance, using his size. And you can't be intimidated? That what you're saying? Bruce didn't move, didn't step back, just stood there, calm. I'm saying size isn't everything. Rick laughed, cracked his knuckles. Says the guy who weighs 130 pounds. 135, Bruce corrected.
That correction, that quiet, factual correction infuriated Rick. The disrespect, the lack of fear. Rick shoved Bruce, both hands, hard. Bruce stumbled back 2 steps, but didn't fall. The crew went silent. Steve stepped forward. "Rick, that's enough." Rick ignored him. "Come on, karate clown, show me what you got. All that mystical chi bullshit. Let's see it." Steve looked at Bruce, expected him to walk away, de-escalate. Smart move, right? But Bruce didn't walk away. He looked at Steve. "Your call." Steve understood the question. "Do you want me to handle this?" Steve thought about it, about all the training, all the demonstrations, all Bruce's calm confidence about technique over size. Steve wanted to see if it was real, wanted to see if Bruce could actually handle Rick, a man who outweighed him by 215 pounds and made a living being dangerous. Steve stepped back. "Rick, if you start this, I'm not stopping it." Rick grinned, cracked his knuckles. "Won't take long."
Rick moved first, rushed forward, tried to grab Bruce. Bear hug. Simple plan. Use 350 pounds to crush this little guy. Bruce wasn't there. Slipped to the side, 6 inches, just enough. Rick's arms closed on empty air. Rick turned, confused, threw a wide hook, haymaker, meant to take Bruce's head off. Bruce ducked, barely. The fist passed an inch above his head. Then Bruce moved, really moved. 3 strikes, faster than the crew could process. First, finger strike to Rick's throat. Light, controlled, just enough to make him gag. Hands dropped instinctively to his throat. Second, kick to the inner thigh. Dead leg shot. Rick's right leg buckled. Third, palm strike to the solar plexus, all of Bruce's body weight behind it, transferred through perfect structure. The air exploded out of Rick's lungs. His eyes went wide. He stumbled backward. Bruce swept his leg, Rick's left leg, the good one, the one still supporting 350 pounds. Rick went down, hard, flat on his back, head bounced off the concrete. He didn't get up, didn't move, just lay there, eyes open but not focused, stunned, possibly concussed. Total elapsed time, 7 seconds. The crew stood frozen. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Just stared at the giant lying on the ground and the little guy standing over him, not even breathing hard. Steve walked over, looked down at Rick, looked at Bruce. Jesus Christ. Bruce knelt down, checked Rick's pulse, breathing. He's okay, just stunned. He'll need ice and maybe a doctor to check for concussion. Someone called for the studio medic. Steve kept staring at Bruce. "You could have done that the whole time," Steve said. Bruce stood up. "Yes." "Why didn't you? Why'd you let him shove you?" "Because I didn't need to fight him. He needed to fight me. He needed to learn something." "What did he learn?" Bruce looked at Rick, still dazed on the concrete. "That size is a tool, not a guarantee." Paramedics arrived, helped Rick sit up. He was disoriented, embarrassed, couldn't look at Bruce, couldn't look at Steve. Steve told the medics to take Rick home, paid leave, come back when he's ready. After they left, Steve turned to Bruce. "I've been training with you for 6 months. I still can't do what you just did." Bruce smiled. "You're not supposed to do what I just did. You're supposed to understand the principles, apply them your way. That's Jeet Kune Do." Steve shook his head, laughed. "I just watched a 135-pound guy put my 350-pound bodyguard to sleep in 7 seconds. I don't even know what to say." Bruce put a hand on his shoulder. "Say you'll keep training." Rick never came back to work for Steve, too humiliated, couldn't face it. Steve didn't fire him. Rick quit, sent a letter, said he needed a change. Steve understood, no hard feelings, sent him severance, double what he owed him. Steve trained with Bruce for the next 5 years, until Bruce died in 1973, and Steve never forgot that afternoon on the Backlot. He told the story for years, in interviews, at parties, always with the same conclusion. I thought I knew what toughness was. I thought size mattered. Bruce Lee taught me that the most dangerous people don't look dangerous, they just are. Hollywood, 1968, a movie set. 350 pounds versus 135. 7 seconds. One lesson. Size is impressive. Technique is devastating. Rick learned it the hard way. Steve learned it by watching. And Bruce just kept teaching. One student at a time. One fight at a time. One truth at a time. That the loudest threats aren't the ones you need to worry about. It's the quiet ones, the ones who don't need to prove anything, because they already know.